Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Thank you all for coming. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We are continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. Dhritarashtra leaves home, and we are on verse number 34. Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Prabhupada. Over to you, Guru Maharaj.
Wait a minute. First of all, go back. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Mataji dropped her connection, I guess. Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. This is what's her name online today? Srimati? No.
No, she's not there.
Okay. So, all right, we can do without a host. Because I'm just going to speak anyway. Srimati's there? No.
Sridevi Mataji.
My apologies, Guru Maharaj. I lost power and I had to come back again.
Sridevi, you keep disobeying all of my instructions on how to host. And so I think we have to talk about this. You're not doing anything correct each time. You make so many mistakes.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
I don't want to really get into it in a public forum right now because I don't think it's appropriate. But I think you should retire for a little while and take instructions from Srimati about what to do.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, today we're on Balaram's appearance day in Europe. All of Europe and India is celebrating Balaram's appearance day. Yesterday, the Americans did. So today I will also speak on Balaram's appearance day. I did yesterday for the American audience. So today here. So turn to 10th canto, 21st chapter, verse number 7. Ten 21:7. Bring that verse up. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Gopya Uchu Aksavatam Phalam Midam Naparam Vidamam Sakyam Pasamani Vesasaitayor Vyavasayim Bhaktam Vajesa Sutayo Anavenu Justam Yadvani Patam Manurakta Kataksa Moksham. Stay there, don't jump. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Go back. Sri Gopa Uchu Akshavatam Phalam Vidam Naparam Vidam Ham Sakyam Pasu Anuvide Satayor Vavasyai Bhaktam Vajay Satitayor Anuvenu Justam Yavanipatim Nipatam Anurakta Tataksa Moksham. Translation. The cowherd girl says, "Oh friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As these two sons enter the forest surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouth and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision." And purport. This translation is quoted from Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Hari Leela, 4th chapter, verse 155. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented as follows: the devotees meant to say, "Oh friends, if you simply remain in the shackles of family life in the material world, what will you ever get to see? The Creator has these eyes, so let us see the most wonderful thing there is to see, Krishna." The gopis were aware that their mothers or other elderly persons might hear their romantic words and disapprove, and thus they said, Aksavatam Phalam, to see Krishna is the goal of all persons and not simply ourselves. In other words, the gopis indicated that since Krishna is the supreme object of love for everyone, why couldn't they also love him in spiritual ecstasy? According to the acharyas, different gopis spoke this in each of the following verses throughout text 19. Now go to 10th canto, 8th chapter, verse number 12. Still in the 10th canto. 10th canto. 8th chapter, verse number 12. Okay. Sri Garga Uvacham Aham Hirohini Putro Ramayam Suridam Gunai Akshasyante Rama Iti Baladikya Balam Viduhu Yarunam Apratak Bhavet Sankarshanam Upasyapi. Gargamuni said, "This child of the son of Rohini will give all happiness to his relatives and friends by his transcendental qualities. And therefore, he will be known as Rama. And because he will manifest extraordinary bodily strength, he will also be known as Bala. Moreover, because he unites two families, Vasudev's family and the family of Nanda Maharaj, he will be known as Sankarsana." Purport: Baladev was actually the son of Devaki, but he was transferred from Devaki's womb to that of Rohini. This fact was not disclosed. according to the statement in the Harivamsa, Bhat Yuvacham Tato Ramam, Sarvastam Avitam Stitam, Yada Vaishyapi Sarveshu Bhavanto Mamam Valabham. Bhargamuni did disclose to Nanda Maharaj that Balaram would be known as Sankarshana because of uniting two families, the Yadu Vamsa and the Vamsa of Nanda Maharaj. One of which was known as Kshatri and the other was Vaishya. Both families had the same original father. The only difference being that Nanda Maharaj was born of a Vaishya wife, whereas Vasudeva was born of a Kshatriya wife. Later, Nanda Maharaj married a Vaishya wife, and Vasudeva married a Kshatriya wife. So, although the families of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva both came from the same father, they were divided as Kshatriya and Vaishya. Now Baladev united them, and therefore he is known as Sankarsana. Omagantinu Kimalandasya Gana Gana Salakti. Takshi Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Vajana Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Kristaya Vitale. Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Deve. Borvani Pacharana Nirvase. First Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gnanavan Srivasi Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama. So Balaram is known as Bala and Rama. Bala means strength and Rama means pleasure. But it doesn't refer to physical strength. It refers to that strength that one needs in order to succeed in the execution of devotional service. Therefore, he is the original guru. All gurus in the line of the acharyas come from the tattva of Lord Balaram. And in that line, there are the principle of guru is the principle of executing devotional service in a particular manner without following specifically the science. Bhakti is not something that, well, I have, I'm showing my love for Krishna, I'm showing my emotions for Krishna. I'm trying to become attached to Krishna. That is, of course, the essence, and that is what we are achieving, trying to achieve. But then one has to learn the principle of discipline. And discipline comes from the word disciple. Disciple means one who follows the discipline given by Krishna through his representative, the spiritual master, who is a representative of Nityananda Balaram. So therefore, if one carefully follows this principle, one will get the strength of Lord Balaram. And that strength is the intelligence and the determination, especially, to stay fixed in the process of devotional service and to understand how to serve the Lord. Because just like when you are trying to serve someone, you learn about the person and you find out what they like and you avoid what they don't like. And so in order to please that person, you execute your service in that way. And the same with Krishna. There's things that are pleasing to Krishna, things that are not pleasing to Krishna. So you might say, well, Krishna doesn't need anything, so how can we say that? yes, he doesn't need anything, but he wants our devotion. And certain activities are conducive for offering devotion, where some or other activities are not. And therefore, one has to understand that principle, and that is taught by Lord Balaram, who manifests himself as the pure spiritual master. Now, today, at least in this section of the world, today, the whole world, this section is celebrating the appearance of the Lord. The Lord appears at a certain time, but he comes. It's not that he appears and then he begins. He is eternal. And his appearance manifests a certain series of activities by which we can learn about the Lord and how to serve the Lord and how to develop our attraction to the Lord. So Balaram Jayanti, the word Jayanti means victory or victory celebration. Actually, that's a more precise understanding of the word Jayanti. It's not only victory, but victory celebration. So when the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes, it's victory for the whole world. Because now the opportunity is that one can take advantage of his personal presence and associate with him through the process of serving him in devotion. And Balaram has again come in this age as Nityananda. Brajendra Nandana Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Balaram Hoi Lo Nitai. So that verse that's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is that there's no difference between Balaram and Nityananda. When Balaram was personally present, if there were persons who were mimical, then they would remove them by removing their existence on the earth. But now Nityananda, he is the same Balaram, but he's performing the same activity, but in a more, what we say, you might say, acceptable way, in the sense that he's not killing the demons or killing those who are mimical. He's trying to purify them. And so Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, is serving Gauranga, who is Krishna himself. So Krishna Balaram is again manifested in the most compassionate way to deliver the fallen souls in this age through the process of Harinam Sankirtan. So by practicing Harinam Sankirtan in this age, one gets the special mercy of Gaurditai, Krishna Balaram, and can make advancement towards the ultimate goal of life, Krishna consciousness. That's the fast track. Kirtan is the fast track, because that's why the Lord came, to teach the Yuga Dharma, which is Harinam Sankirtan. Krishna Varnam Tuza Krishna Sangopanga Saparshadam Yagyai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajantihi Sumeda Sahan. This verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 12th canto mentions the reasons why the Lord appears. And he comes to initiate the Sankirtan movement. And those who take advantage of him, they actually are considered to be Sumedasa. Su means good, and Medasa means intelligence. In other words, be able to recognize one's good fortune is a sign of intelligence. Material world teaches good fortune to be some material successful accomplishments, such as gaining large amounts of wealth, getting a good family, nice wife, children, husband, getting a good position within the society, earning respect from what one performs for the benefit of others. These are considered to be one's materially good fortune. But real good fortune is about living entities' existence. Understanding our true nature as spiritual beings, we cannot find satisfaction in material success because we are not material. We are spiritual. And therefore, Balaram, he comes to teach us how to achieve our good fortune. And he takes the form of another name for Nityananda, Balaram, is Avaduta. Avaduta means he follows no rules and regulations. He does what is best for everyone according to his own desire. And he also, in his own personal behavior, he does whatever he wants to exhibit his own love of God, because in the role of Balaram or Nityananda, he is always serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is the Supreme Lord himself, he manifests himself as a servitor Godhead. And it indicates something very essential, that what is actually valuable in life is devotional service. The opportunity to achieve devotional service is available, and it says that devotional service is very rare. So at the same time, it's available, but it's rare. How can we? It seems to be somewhat contradictory. One of the characteristics of pure devotional service, it's very rare, but the word achieved needs to be put on there. It's very rarely achieved. To come to that, to even accept devotional service is rare. What to speak about those who succeed in the execution of devotional service. Especially in Kali Yuga, when Kali Yuga is so much inclined to materialistic success and activity centered around acquiring material things and enjoying the senses as much as possible. And so Balaram, Nityananda, is very merciful. Two very sinful personalities, Jagai and Madai, where they had appeared in the town of Navadvip. They were actually the ruling class. They were the constables, sheriffs in this little town of Navadvip at the time, but they were very sinful. And that Nityananda, wanting to glorify Lord Chaitanya's presence, wanted to find the most sinful and give them Krishna consciousness. And so he came across these two persons. But they weren't able to understand or even give any respect to Lord Nityananda and caused him some harm. But it was by the mercy of Nityananda and combined with the mercy of Lord Chaitanya that they became free from their sinful activities and actually received the special mercy of the Lord and became devotees of the Lord. So it's explained that actually in this age of Kali, everyone is Jagai Madai, in the sense that everyone is inclined to materialistic activities and even sinful life. We don't even know. We think, well, I'm a very pious, I may not be a full-fledged devotee, but I'm kind of a nice person. I don't harm anyone. I give in charity. I do so many things to help people. You go through the list, people like to look at themselves and kind of praise themselves for whatever good qualities they may have. But one doesn't know that living in the material world without execution devotional service means that one is building up bad karma automatically. such as when you walk along the streets. If you walk on insects, kill them, even accidentally. You're painting a wall and you kill some insects. Or if you're even breathing, you see the Jains, they put these masks because they don't want to kill living entities by breathing. You're also committing sinful activities by killing living entities unnecessarily. Just like eating automatically kills living entities. Just to prepare the food, to serve it, and to eat the food is sinful. It says that in the Bhagavad Gita. Yagnartha kamano lakyan, loko yam kama. No, that's not the verse. Shishya sito santito shanto, bunjate sarva kil bita, bunjate te agampa from ye prachatmana karana. That the devotees of the Lord are freed from all sinful activities because they eat food that is offered in sacrifice. Those who eat food for sense gratification verily eat only sin. It makes a very clear statement that unless you take prasadam, you're eating sin. You're getting sinful reactions. You may be the nicest person on your block, but still you're committing sinful activities. So unless one takes to devotional service, there are reactions for all of our activities that cause harm to other living entities. And we can't stop that, but you can prevent that from the reactions by taking to devotional service. That is the only way. The devotional service not only elevates one's consciousness to the spiritual realm in connection with Krishna, but frees one from all the reactions of sinful activities that we've accumulated, not only in this life, but in previous life. That's the power of devotional service. Well, Lord Nityananda, he is Balaram, he's Guru Tattva. He wants to spread the message of Sanatana Dharma, eternal religious principles. And so he's going everywhere and anywhere and finding the sinful activity, sinful personalities, and giving them Krishna consciousness. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati makes a nice, very powerful statement. He says that the Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya saving Jagai and Madai from all of their sinful activities is not simply a pastime in the Shastras. It's not simply a historical event. What is it? It is the feature of Guru Tattva coming, the mercy of Guru coming through the Supreme Lord who manifests himself as Guru for the living entities, that there are Jagais and Madais being saved every minute by this Krishna conscious movement. Otherwise, people are on their way to hell. They don't know that, but they are. Or they're on their way to a lower birth where they will have to suffer without the opportunity for Krishna consciousness. This is the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He comes, he is Balaram himself. And he is very merciful. There's a nice little pastime where the associate of Lord Krishna, Sridam, cowherd boy. When Krishna disappeared on the planet, Sridam went into a cave and stayed there for thousands of years. He meditated on the Lord. When Kali Yuga came out, he emerged from the cave when he was still in the area of Vrindavan. And then he came across this personality. He was attracted by this personality and he couldn't understand who he was. And he said to the personality, who are you? He said, I'm Balaram. No, you don't look like Balaram. You're so small. Balaram's big. I am. You're really Balaram? Yeah. So Sridham was thinking, I'm very attracted to his personality. He's claiming to be Balaram. I'm not sure. I don't think so. He said, well, if you're actually Balaram, then when we used to play games, I used to beat all the other cowherd boys except Balaram in running. I was the fastest except for Balaram. He was faster than me. So if you're Balaram, let's race. Okay? So they lined up and they start racing around Vrindavan. And Sridham, he's like a bullet, so he raced. And then Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, he was running right next to him. And then Lord Nityananda, who was not recognized by Sridham as being Balaram, just started to go even faster and left Sridham in the dust. And then Sridham could understand, yes, you must be Balaram. And then Nityananda revealed his form as Sri Balaram to Sridham. And that's a nice little pastime that same Balaram has come, Sri Nityananda Ram. And there are many other pastimes too. And I'll read one maybe from this list of leaders we have here. Balaram marries Revati. Okay. In such a yuga, there was a king named Raivata, whose daughter Revati was excellent in all respects. Unable to find a match suitable for her, the king took her to the court of Brahma for Brahma's advice. After waiting for some time, when the king met with Brahma, he was shocked to learn that in the short time he spent in Brahmaloka, millions of years had already passed on earth. And at that time, Dwapara Yuga was concluding. However, Lord Brahma informed King Revati that at this time was Lord Brahma, Balaram, who was more than qualified to be the husband of Revati. King Ravata returned and approached Balaram to accept Revati as his wife. However, Revati belonged to an earlier age when people were much larger physically. So Balaram placed his plow on her head until she shrunk to an appropriate size and accepted her as his wife. So the king had spent time in Brahmaloka, and millions of years had passed. Because one or two moments in Brahmaloka is hundreds and thousands of years on the earth. The higher you go in the cosmological realm of existence, slower time is. So that's a nice, so Balaram has two cousins, Galindi and Revati. And Revati, she reappeared as the wife of Lord Nityananda as Janavidevi. Right. Okay, I'll stop there. And any discussions on Lord Balaram? Comments? Questions? Personal experiences?
Dear devotees, if you would like to put on your cameras, please do so. And just as Maharaj has requested, please share your realizations, your experiences, your comments. If you have questions, please go ahead. And if you wish to type it up in the chat window, I'll be happy to read them out also. Thank you.
Balaram. Krishna plays the flute, and so does Balaram play the flute. You don't hear many pastimes, but that first verse that we read at the beginning of the class describes two brothers going into the woods and playing on their flute. So in that verse, it indicates Balaram also carries a flute along with Krishna.
While we wait for devotees to think and come up with some questions, Maharaj, would you please tell us a little bit more about Balaram's Ras Leela and his pastimes with the gopis also?
Well, that's a whole chapter mentioned in the Krishna book. It's also mentioned in the 10th canto. And Balaram was feeling separation from Vrindavan, so he returned from Dwarka. And he came during the month of Chaitra, which is April, May. And at that time, he performed rasa dance with a set of gopis that were not the same gopis as Krishna performs a set of rasa dance with. It's mentioned they were younger gopis. And for 2 months, he gave pleasure to the residents of Vrindavan. And during that time, he performed many activities. There is one activity of, let's see. Once Lord Balaram, who was living in Dwarka, came back to stay in Vrindavan for 2 months. At this time, he enjoyed pastimes with his gopi friends, who were different from the gopis of Krishna. Enjoying such pastimes on the bank of Jamuna at Ramghat, the Lord summoned Jamuna so he could sport in her waters. When Jamuna Devi did not respond, Lord Balaram took up his favorite weapon, his plow, and began to drag Jamuna in 100 streams. Understanding the position of Balaram, Jamuna Devi personally appeared and offered her obeisances to the Lord with many prayers and glorification. This appeased the Lord, who entered and bathed in the waters of her river. That's one of the pastimes that took place when Lord Balaram returned after being in Dwarka.
Thank you, Maharaj. We have Namrata. Please go ahead.
Raj Prabhu had his hand first.
Okay, Raj Prabhu, please go ahead.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, on this day, are there any recommendations or advice on what we can do specifically to serve Lord Balarama, to please him, and to take the full benefit of this glorious day?
Well, to hear about the Lord, to chant the glories of the Lord, specifically on his appearance day, is very auspicious. It has great spiritual merit. So find opportunities to speak about Balaram today with other devotees. And if you are able to, you can offer Bhoga to the Lord today on his appearance day. And offer a nice bowl of honey, as Balaram likes honey. That would be very pleasing. But on a personal level, we want to hear and chant more about the glories of the Lord. That's why these days are here, to remind us. The devotee wants to hear and chant the glories of the Lord as much as possible. But on these days, it's especially inclined to. Those who fail to do so will be bitten by snakes. If you're hearing or chanting the glories of the Lord on his day, you're okay. But if you fail to do that, say you just completely neglect this day and don't do anything, it doesn't mean you have to chant the glories of the Lord, but you have to at least hear the glories. And then you'll be bitten by snakes. Doesn't mean poison snakes, but snakes anyway. So it's not a very good thing to totally neglect the glories, these days which are set aside as opportunities to hear and chant the glories of the Lord more, remember our relationship with the Lord, increase that relationship with the Lord by increasing our vow in Krishna consciousness. We have to honor these days, they're very important.
Thank you.
It
Thank you
doesn't
very
say
much,
you have
Maharaj.
to do something specific, you just have to take some time to hear about Balaram, to chant his name, to remember Balaram, do some service for Balaram. All of these are specially geared for this particular day. But of course, we do that every day, but especially on these days.
Is that all right, Raj Prabhu?
Yes, thank you very much, Sridevi Mataji. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Namrata, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. We have heard in Mahabharata that Gandhari, she cursed the destruction of Yadu dynasty. So I was just hearing the pastime of Romapad yesterday, Romapad Swami, and I was just wondering at that time that was Balramji not destroyed when the destruction of Yadu dynasty was conducted?
No, he left. He left before that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, he merged back into his form as Anantasesh. You see on the head of Balaram, there are snakes there, sometimes painted there. So he merged himself into his form as Anantasesh and left the world. He left before Krishna left.
Okay. I heard that past time that he became Anantasesh, but I was not sure that he came back again. So that is what I learned yesterday.
Came back again as
Yeah, he came back in the where Sutta Goswami was appointed and Romapad Swami was killed.
oh, Romaharshan. Romaharshan.
Sorry, Maharsha. Sorry, Romaharsha.
Yeah, well, that took place before Krishna left the planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it says that he traveled for 20 years after the appearance, after he left the battle, Krishna was still there. Now, wait a minute, maybe I have my chronology a little bit backwards. He did travel for 20 years. That 20-year period, I'm not sure if it was before or after. At least the 20-year period started before Krishna left the planet, that's for sure. But I don't know during that 20-year period if Krishna actually left the planet. I think, from what I understand or from recall, is that when Balaram heard that Krishna left the planet, he left also. So it might have been after Krishna left. So I can't say for sure, but I think it's after Krishna left the planet. but I was thinking it was before, so. Because, yeah, the sages of Nambisharanya were, that particular pastime happened after Lord Chaitanya, after Krishna left the planet.
Hmm.
You have to just read the Bhagavatam and get the chronology correct there.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Maharaj, I don't see any hands raised. I have a question, if I may ask at this point.
Go.
Okay, so we hear that Balaram in this particular incarnation decided to come as elder brother of Krishna, because in the previous pastime he was younger brother as Lakshman, and he had to do so many tasks because Lord Ram ordered that he found very, very difficult and very distasteful. So he said, this incarnation I'll come as your elder brother. We hear that. But where can we read this reference? Because we hear it a lot, but I don't remember reading it anywhere.
Neither do I, but I've heard it also many times.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
curious.
I think it was right at the end of the Ramayana when Lakshman had to do that most unpleasant service of taking Sita out of Ayodhya and bringing her when she was pregnant to Valmiki's ashram.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, dear devotees, any other questions or realizations on this wonderful day of Balaram Purnima? Balaram Tattva is Guru Tattva. So any other questions related to Guru Tattva also would be appropriate. If anybody has questions about that, please feel free to ask, because Balaram is Adi Guru. So anything related to Balaram ji is perfectly all right. We have many devotees online. Swaha, Shiv Prabhu, Madan Gopal, Vishwa Pavani, Shilpesh Prabhu, Sonal, Anahita, Scarlett Mataji, Deepa Kirti, please feel free to ask questions.
Okay. So
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. So those of you who are honoring Balaram's appearance day, take part, go to the temple, take part in the festivities in the temple, and dance and eat prasad. Which is always pleasant at any time, in any occasion. Okay, thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Oh,
Shiv Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I can't turn on my camera. I'm at work at the moment. Maharaj, I just wanted to chime in on that question that Sridevi Mataji just asked. Kaviraj Goswami in the 5th chapter, when he's describing the relationship between Balaram and Krishna, Nitai and Lord Chaitanya, he says that Balaram, he wishes to serve in every flavor of that service. So that means as elder brother, younger brother, in every single way possible. So maybe that is a small explanation for why.
Yeah, nice point. Yeah, that illustrates Balaram's mood. He wants to serve in all aspects that he can, serve the Supreme Lord's mission while the Lord is personally present. Yeah, nice point. Thank you. Yeah. And that illustrates Balaram's mood.
Yes,
does-
Maharaj.
He doesn't want to serve in just one way. He wants to serve in as many ways as he can.
Yes. Maharaj, I was reading this morning the pastime of the killing of Denakasura. And there's a very beautiful set of verses that Krishna, he glorifies in the Taliban forest when they are on their way. He glorifies Balaram. It's just 4 verses. Can I read them? It's a nice meditation.
Yeah, sure, please.
So it starts for devotees who want to read, it's chapter 15 in the 10th canto, verses 5 to 8. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O greatest of lords, just see how these trees are bowing their heads at your lotus feet, which are worshipable by the immortal demigods. The trees are offering you their fruits and flowers to eradicate the dark ignorance that has caused their birth as trees. O original personality, these bees must all be great sages and most elevated devotees of yours, for they are worshipping you by following you along the path of chanting your glories, which are themselves holy place for the entire world. Though you have disguised yourself within this forest, O sinless one, they refuse to abandon you, their worshipable Lord. O worshipable one, these peacocks are dancing before you out of joy. These doe are pleasing you with affectionate glances, just as the gopis do. And these cuckoos are honoring you with Vedic prayers. All these residents of the forest are most fortunate, and their behavior towards you certainly befits great souls receiving another great soul at your home." And then Krishna ends like this: "This earth has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your feet, and her trees and creepers with your fingernails, and because you have graced her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals with your merciful glances. But above all, you have embraced the young cowherd women between your arms, a favor hankered after by even the goddess of fortune herself." That's a very nice glorification of Balaram.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Very poetic, very deep in the mood of praising Lord Balaram. Really nice.
Yeah. This is a very sweet chapter, Maharaj, because it is that, the depiction of Krishna massaging Balaram's feet underneath the tree.
Yeah.
This happens just after that, because the Krishna has spent that year away from the cowherd boys and the calves. So the dealings and the sweetness is on another level.
So this was just after the Brahma Mohan Leela.
Yes, Maharaj. Just straight after that.
Interesting.
It's very sweet. It's very, very sweet.
It also gives a little indication for us that if you're going to praise somebody, you should also be specific in how you praise, and not just use nice adjectives without any subjects.
That's the truth.
Krishna is very artistic. He's not only glorifying him, but he's specifically enunciating the activities that are glorious and those who are actually involved in the glorifications, the peacocks, the does, ultimately the gopis, and he himself, the trees.
Yes, the trees and the bees.
Used to.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you. That was the essence of our glorification of Balaram today. Yeah, when Krishna glorifies, and there's nothing superior than that. So sweet, so deep, and so meaningful.
Yeah, Maharaj, this has been these 4 verses have been my meditation for the entire day. It's very nice.
15th chapter of 10th canto?
Yes, Maharaj, verses 5 to 8.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up from where you left off. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Well,
Thank you, Shiv Prabhu, for sharing that. That was so nice, so sweet.
okay, so tomorrow is Friday. And let's see. Yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow for Friday and Saturday, but not Sunday. I don't think I won't be here for Sunday. So we'll see you the next 2 days.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.
That's for today.
Yeah, whatever is left in the day, use it to hear about Balaram, chant about Balaram, and worship Balaram. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. Wishing you a very, very beautiful and powerful Balaram Purnima. May we all get special spiritual strength, Bala, by the mercy of the spiritual master who is representative of Lord Balaram. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Raj Prabhu. I'm going to offer honey to Balram Prabhu. Thank you for asking that question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sridevi. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the
Balaram
day.
Purnima ki jai.
Ki jai. Same to you. Ki jai.
Hari Bol. Thank you.